I don't know what time it is, maybe it's dark now, or maybe it's already dawn. I'm sitting in the bathroom, in complete darkness. The door is closed. I listen to every sound, every rustle. The water has long since cooled down, and I'm trying my best not to scream. Otherwise, he will hear me, and then I'm finished. I can't get out for the same reason. I don't know how long this will continue. I don't think I have much chance. Because he will search, walking around my 3-room apartment until he finds it. It all started about a month ago. Me, my mother, my father, and my younger sister Anechka have been renting this apartment in the center of Moscow for almost a year. We are from another city, but are forced to live here due to our father's temporary transfer to another position. During this time, everything was calm. Nice area, good-natured neighbors, but recently Dad was returned to his previous place, and this meant moving back. After long discussions on my initiative, good job here, friends, girlfriend, it was decided that I would stay. My parents were against it, but I'm not 16 anymore, and it's up to me to decide. I saw my parents and sister off and helped me take my things down to the car. We said goodbye. Anyutka, hugging me tightly, whispered, "Don't offend me." Dyudia is her imaginary friend who appeared from the moment we settled here. Doctors say that at her age this is normal and may be caused by a change in environment. Frankly, at first it scared us a little. Imagine, you hear a child's voice talking to someone in the next room very convincingly, as if someone was even answering her. You go there, and there she is, alone, sitting on the floor, playing with her plastic blocks. But then we got used to it, waited for it to grow up and stop. I looked after the car as it drove away. In the evening, I planned to celebrate the beginning of my independent life with my girlfriend. There was no more than a month left to live in this 3-room hulk until the end of the paid period. Next, I had to find a smaller home, since my financial capabilities leave much to be desired, which I told my friend on the phone, after which I threw on my jacket and went to the store to buy something for the evening event. A bottle of white wine, grapes, sweets. I even bought candles and decided to create a romantic atmosphere. Approaching the entrance, out of habit, he raised his eyes to his windows. There was a tingling sensation in my chest, and a wave of goosebumps ran through my body. What is this? Or who? Or maybe it just seemed to me. But I am absolutely sure that I saw someone's outlines in the window of my room just a moment, and now there is no one. The window is open, causing the curtain to flutter slightly. Most likely, it seemed to me. I calmed myself down, climbing the stairs. I went into the apartment. I admit, my heart was pounding. I felt like a scared child. Slowly, without even taking off his shoes, he walked into his room. Of course, no one. I'm standing in the center of the room. Silence. I just can't bring myself to relax. You know, it happens. That, no matter what, the feeling of anxiety does not leave. Something's wrong here. Something. Trin. My cell phone rang. I almost screamed in fright. Hello? Yes, dear. Of course I'm waiting. Nah, everything's fine. And my voice is normal, it just seems to you. How soon will you be there? Well, okay, I kiss you. My girlfriend, my Vika, called me. She announced that she would be there in the evening and told me to meet her. Having exhaled, I returned to the corridor, took off my shoes, took off my jacket and went to the kitchen to carry the groceries. 20. The wine is on a beautiful tray, 2 wine glasses, everything on the tray. The doorbell rang. I had already forgotten about today's incident, deciding that it was just my imagination. I met my beloved and helped her undress. It's 11:30. We are sitting on the couch, watching TV. There is an empty bottle on the floor. What a blur on the screen. I slowly fall asleep. Vika, in my opinion, is already asleep too. So good. The day has been busy and sleep is like a balm. Mish Vika woke me up, whispering and tugging. There is someone in the kitchen. Do you hear this? I looked into her eyes. I have never seen such fear in them before. He glanced towards the corridor leading to the kitchen and began to listen. Incomprehensible, either a grinding sound or a rustling sound. Fear hit me like a wave, but I couldn't look like a coward in front of my girlfriend, and therefore, standing up decisively and even saying something like, "There's nothing there," I quickly walked to the kitchen. Nothing. The wind flying through the open window nailed a package to the wall which I forgot to put in the closet. The package rustled, making an audible sound. "Mish, what's going on?" Vicky's voice sounded from the next room. "Nothing," I answered calmly. The package rustled, but I didn't feel any relief, because my gaze was fixed on 3 cuts, as if made with scissors, on this very package. Of course, there is nothing terrible or mystical in this, but it is also an open window. Coming out of the kitchen, I remember exactly that I closed it. I must have just been too tired. Maybe I didn't close it, or maybe Vika went to the kitchen. We need to calm down. Having crumpled the bag and thrown it into the trash, I returned to the hall and, with a smile on my face, called Vika a coward. But I discovered that she, looking sleepy, was calling a taxi. "It's already late. I have to go. It's early for school tomorrow," she explained. Well then, I went to the bathroom, opened the faucet, and inserted the plug. The plan was to walk her to the car, get wet, and go to bed. May the day end quickly and a new, wonderful, bright day come. We went downstairs and the car was already waiting. I paid the driver for the fare, put Vika in the back seat, and kissed her goodbye. "After school, around 12, I'll pick you up," she said, and the driver drove off. I trudged home with a tired gait. The bathroom was already full, and I turned off the tap. I went into the hall, collected all our food, picked up the empty bottle, and took it to the kitchen. He put the dishes in the sink and the bottle in the trash can, then undressed in the hall, and finally plunged into the hot, pleasant water. Fine. The light was on only in the bathroom, and through the open door almost nothing was visible, only the door frame and the blackness behind it. Lying there and relaxing, I slowly, without noticing it, began to fall asleep. Only the droplets of sweat sliding down my face made me itch periodically, and this did not allow me to fall asleep completely. Chick was heard somewhere in the distance, but I didn't attach much importance to it. Chick, chick. It happened twice again, pulling me out of my slumber. I opened my eyes and turned my head towards the open door. The light coming out from around the corner rested against the wall in the corridor, illuminating the standing shoes. The light was on in the kitchen. The wave of horror did not come immediately, but somewhere with a delay of 3 seconds. It took exactly that long to realize what was happening. Chick. The light went out again. My heavy breathing was the only thing that diluted the deathly silence. A trembling, empty gaze was stared into the darkness of the corridor, trying to look out for something that was the cause of such panicky horror. I think I hear footsteps. They are coming from the kitchen. It's like someone is walking in circles. Chick. The light came on again, making me flinch. The outgoing stream fell on the wall again, but only this time with a shadow falling along with it. Something was standing in the kitchen, swaying from side to side. It was clear from the shadow that his hand, reaching for the switch, slowly dropped. For a moment, I looked down at my hands, which were holding the edge of the bathtub. Even the death grip could not hide the trembling. How would you feel if you were, as you think, completely alone in your apartment, and with your own eyes observing the presence of something in the next room? The shadow moved, and to my horror, began to shrink in size. This means that whoever it was moving towards the corridor. Leaving the kitchen, I have the heart. It seemed to have stopped. I, unable to move my little finger, just sat and, without taking my eyes off the corner, waited to see who or what would appear from behind it. These seconds lasted an eternity. The sound of footsteps sounded very close. Along with it, an incomprehensible muttering or mooing was heard. My vision darkened. It seemed like I was going to lose consciousness. Pip peep, the sound of an SMS was heard and the cell phone lying on the closet in the hallway lit up. "It must be Vika," she wrote back that she got home. It was as if I had come out of hypnosis, as if I had returned to reality, come to my senses. Jumping out of the bathroom and stepping over the threshold, I looked into the corridor again. From around the corner, a hand, if you can call it that, was holding onto the wall. Black, with black sharp claws, leading along the wallpaper, leaving a mark. I froze again for a moment, and then, holding the doorknob, he stepped back into the bath and closed the door behind him. He clicked the lock. He climbed into the bathroom, hugged his knees, and cried. It probably can't get any worse, I managed to think. Well, it turns out it can. There was a familiar click of a switch behind the door, and the light, enveloping me in darkness, went out. Wanting to hide as far as possible, as deep as possible, I took a full lungful of air and sank headlong under the water. I don't know what time it is. Maybe it's still dark, or maybe it's already dawn. I'm still sitting in complete darkness. The door is closed. I listen to every sound, every rustle. The water has long cooled down, and I'm trying my best not to shake or make a sound. It seems to me that if it hears me, I will be finished. I can't get out for the same reason. I don't know how long this will continue. I don't think I have much chance, because it's looking for me. Walks around the apartment, scratches walls, doors, flicks switches. Either I hear slow footsteps, or it seems to me that it is running from one room to another. I don't know what to do. Or maybe it knows that I'm here. Maybe it's just having fun. I'm scared. For the last maybe 2 hours, there have been no sounds, only my breath. The doorbell rang unexpectedly, making me jump. By the long period of time between the ringing, I realized who it was. Only one person calls this way. My Vika. I remembered that she promised to come by after school, so the day has already arrived. Hope arose in me. Slowly, trying not to make any noise, I rose to my feet. Having stepped on the floor, I almost fell. My legs became very numb. Slowly listening, he brought his hand to the lock. Silence, and the doorbell rang again. We must hurry. Closing my eyes and exhaling, I clicked the lock and opened the door. The bright light that hit my eyes forced me to cover them with my hand. But I needed to see what was there. Through the pane, I still looked. Nobody here. My apartment. There are marks on the walls, doors, cabinets, or rather scratches, throughout the apartment. He left the bathroom and walked towards the door with an uncertain but quick step. Not seeing anything because of the blinding light in the peephole, he asked, "Who's there?" "Mish, are you still sleeping? Are you kidding?" A familiar native voice rang out. I, just in the clothes my mother gave birth to celebrate, clicked the lock and opened the front door. Ragged black lips half covered by a beard broke into a crooked smile, revealing crooked yellow teeth. A creature, about a meter tall, dressed in some rags from under which pitch black hands protruded, looked at me with angry red eyes covered with thick eyebrows. I took a step back. The wall clock showed 4:23. Looking around, I realized that the lights were on throughout the entire apartment. But outside the windows, it was dark night. Apparently, I should have let my eyes get used to the light before opening the front door. I think the hope of salvation that arose blinded me, and I saw only what I wanted to see. There was such despair in my soul. It even covered the fear. The creature confidently stepped into the apartment and laughed quietly. His lips trembled and I heard a whisper, "Gotcha." Reaching out to the shakfu, I picked up the phone. One new message from, "Darling, Mish, I can't call. The taxi driver, he's kinda strange. Every now and then, he looks at me in the mirror, licking his teeth. Mish. His hands are black. What should I do? I'm scared." I looked again at the creature. "I'm scared."